The idea to study abroad and, well, in general, to study abroad was already always kind of embedded in me. My parents were always able to take me to different countries. I was able to travel, well, all around the world. That's how I just kind of always had the idea of definitely wanting to study abroad. And the first manifestation of that idea was my exchange year in Uruguay, which I did in 2016. And after that, I was just sure that I was definitely going to do or try to study abroad in my university as well. And we've always been coming to the U.S., had strong ties to the U.S., and that's why it was really a no-brainer for me to say, well, I want to go to university in the U.S. Yes, it was always pretty clear to me, and to my parents too. They basically knew from the beginning that it was their fault that they would, have me study in the U.S. here. They were always there to support me through everything. Well, the idea was there, but then again, price-wise, universities in the U.S. we knew they would be really expensive, and we would probably not be able to afford it. And that's when Jonas actually contacted me with an email saying if I would still be interested in, maybe trying something academically, and that just started everything off and really gave me a perspective to really be able to go to the U.S. and do it affordably. Well, they were actually fairly fairly close because we've been to the U.S. so many times. It wasn't really a getting used to the culture because I really knew the culture, and at times I'm definitely more American than I am German. So for me, it really wasn't a big transition to that. Transition was just the way they handled their classes and things. Um, because I would say our German education system is very close to the United States college system. The way just they have their assignments, the way you work on things is just closer to the German education system than any other one. One thing that definitely took some getting used to was the dorm life. That was because I'm an only child, so I never had to share a room with anybody.
And how was that? Tell me a little bit about your room sharing experience.
Well, after meeting him, it quickly came out to be a pretty good match, except of like some of our habits of like sleeping in or not sleeping in. Those things just kind of clashed a little bit, but that's just something you got to get used to. And you definitely become a way heavier sleeper than you used to be because you just have to sleep through anything your roommate does for the whole night. That was really nice from Morehead State. Just when I got there, for all the internet or for all of the new international students in the first week, they had kind of an orientation week. You had a couple of meetings that you had to go to. That was more for immigration purposes, that they needed to, copy of your passports and stuff like that. They had really nice orientation for the international students. Showed you around the campus, showed you around the library, how to find your way around there, and just explained everything about campus life to you. And yeah, that was really nice. And after that, we had a weekly meeting with all of the international students at a local cafe, which sometimes a lot of people went to. Sometimes it was just a few of us, but that's always a great way to meet the international students to get to get to know them a little better. For everybody coming from Europe, you have to kind of get into the mindset, or definitely from coming from Germany, that you're going to redo your Abitur, just for the sense of in Germany we cover a wide variety of subjects that we have to write tests in to be able to finish our high school. And in the U.S. they kind of put that into the first 2 years of college, because that in the first year it gives you a little bit more leeway, it gives you a lot more time to get to know people and things like that. And I've only had three courses that really go into my major. That would be my math and astrophysics courses, but they are really good, and you learn a lot about them, and it's just a lot of fun there. So academically, I would say it's in the first year it might not be challenging for most Europeans, but after the first year, you definitely get to learn a lot more and definitely new things, and then it gets to be a little more challenging. I love I love the ratio of students to professors, just because our I don't know the exact ratio we have, but it's fairly small, and professors you're always able to talk to the professors. Their doors are always open, and if you have a question after the lecture or something, just stop by. They're always really nice. They're really helpful with everything, and that's something that is also really different to Germany because I've had a course in the university in Germany, and the professor's just a lot distant. It's like you'd never really talk to your professor. You would talk to your classmates or then his secretaries if there's any questions or anything, but you would never actually talk to the professor about anything. The second thing is probably just the wide variety of people you get to know on campus, because you get to know a lot of different cultures. Especially up in Kentucky, you have more of the people that come from a local area that live totally different than the people that even come from a little further away from the urban areas. Just the clash of cultures there is just really nice to see, and that way you get to meet a lot of interesting people and make a lot of friends. Their sports programs are really nice. That's also something that you've never had, or you don't really have in Germany at all, is the athletic part of a university. Also, just even if you're not in a sports team, just being there for the football games, doing the tailgating parties and stuff like that beforehand, before the football games and things. That's just something that is definitely nice to experience and something that you never experience here. We actually have a pretty big career fair every couple of months on campus. That's really good key in finding good jobs after graduating. I can personally only talk about the physics sector, and I have two friends that actually just graduated, and they both already found a job. Well, they were already offered a job working on projects with the university, going on further with that, and so the university really tries to give you an opportunity into what you're actually going to do after that, or find you a different university to go and finish your master's, and then maybe come back to the university for some projects, or just help you in general with finding a job. Yeah, I definitely want to stay in the U.S. I want to in my OPD in the year after the after my studies. I want to find a good company, possibly in the private space travel sector, and try to do my OPT with them, and then have them sponsor me for my master's degree in the U.S. And after I'm done with that, go back to Germany for my PhD, and then come back to work for them in the U.S. That's the main goal, but let's see how that goes. Yeah, I'm more than happy that it will help me actually be able to come to the US, because without IFWO, I would probably never been able to, just because of the horrendous prices of universities. And I never really figured that just as an international student with your SAT, you might be able to already get scholarships. So that was amazing that April gave me that opportunity. And now being over here, I couldn't be happier. This is exactly what I want. And yeah, I just hope everything goes as planned now. Not be afraid at all, because it will really help me all the way to the university. And then when I got to the university, they were always there to help me going forward. With any problems I had, I was always able to contact anyone else or anybody else in the chat group. I was just able to, or even for my parents, they were able to put a question in there they had, and so I would say that really not be afraid, even if English is not perfect or anything. You're there to learn, and they have great English courses as well. So a lot of the international students, especially from the Asian area here at Moorhead State, their English really wasn't great, and they've had the year of English classes at the university, and their English is really great now. So it's really, don't be afraid. It's a fun experience, and it's an experience everybody should make.